At first, this number looks mysterious, 1.2912859. It seems like a random decimal, but it comes from a surprising integral, the integral from 0 to 1 of x to the negative x dx. That already feels strange. Near 0, x to the negative x seems to head toward 0 to the 0, something undefined, something dangerous. But the limit rescues the story. As x approaches 0 from the right, x to the negative x approaches 1. So the integral is perfectly well behaved. Now look at the graph. The curve begins near 1, rises to a small peak, then returns to 1 at x equals 1. And the shaded area under that curve is about 1.2913. But here is the real surprise. That same integral also equals an infinite series, the sum from n equals 1 to infinity of 1 over n to the n. This is the sophomore's dream. And the big question is, why this identity works at all? How do we even begin to explain it? The key is a single rewrite. We take x to the negative x and write it as e to the natural log of x to the negative x. Then that simplifies to e to the negative x natural log x. And that changes everything. Because once the strange power becomes an exponential, we can use a tool we already know, the power series for e to the u. So inside the integral, e to the negative x natural log x turns into an infinite sum. Now the problem starts to open up. Instead of one mysterious expression, we get a whole family of smaller terms. And that means we can swap the integral and the summation, so the original problem breaks into many simpler integrals. Each one now has the form x to the n times negative natural log x to the n. So the impossible-looking integral has been transformed into something systematic, something we can attack term by term. And that is the turning point of the proof. One rewrite, one series expansion, and suddenly the whole structure becomes visible. We have now reduced the whole problem to a single family of integrals. The integral from 0 to 1 of x to the n times negative natural log x to the n dx. So the question becomes, can we evaluate this exactly for every n? The answer begins with one substitution. Let t equal negative natural log x. Then x becomes e to the negative t, and dx becomes negative e to the negative t dt. At the same time, x to the n becomes e to the negative nt, and negative natural log x to the n becomes t to the n. The limits change too. When x equals 1, t equals 0. And as x approaches 0 from the right, t approaches infinity. So the integral transforms into the integral from 0 to infinity of t to the n times e to the negative open parenthesis n plus 1 close parenthesis t dt. And now the pattern is finally visible. This is exactly the kind of expression the gamma function is built to handle. With one final rescaling, the remaining integral becomes n factorial. So every term has a clean, closed form. N factorial over open parenthesis n plus 1 close parenthesis to the n plus 1. That is the bridge back to the series. We already found that each term has a clean, closed form. N factorial over open parenthesis n plus 1 close parenthesis to the n plus 1. Now we plug that result back into the series. And something very satisfying happens. The n factorial in the denominator cancels with the n factorial in the numerator. So the expression becomes much simpler. Negative 1 to the n over open parenthesis n plus 1 close parenthesis to the n plus 1. Next, we re-index the sum so it starts at n equals 1 instead of 0. That gives us negative 1 to the n minus 1 over n to the n. And then the whole expression assembles into the famous series, the sum from n equals 1 to infinity of 1 over n to the n. So the strange integral we started with turns into the sophomore's dream, term by term, until the full identity finally appears. What looked impossible at the start now becomes perfectly clear. Now let us actually see the identity. On the left, we have the integral from 0 to 1 of x to the negative x dx. On the right, we have the sum from n equals 1 to infinity of 1 over n to the n. And both sides give the same value, about 1.2913. First, look at the graph. The curve starts near 1, rises to a gentle peak, and then returns to 1 at x equals 1. So the shaded area gives the value of the integral. Now look at the series. As we build the partial sums, they move steadily toward that same limit. The gap keeps shrinking, and the error drops quickly. So after only a few terms, the agreement is already striking. This is what makes the identity so satisfying. A geometric area and an infinite series that look completely different arrive at the same number. At this point, the bigger picture finally appears. The identity we proved is this. The integral from 0 to 1 of x to the negative x dx equals the sum from n equals 1 to infinity of 1 over n to the n. But Bernoulli found a twin identity as well. The integral from 0 to 1 of x to the x dx equals the sum from n equals 1 to infinity of negative 1 to the n plus 1 over n to the n. The difference is just the sign in the exponent. For x to the negative x, we rewrite it as e to the negative x natural log x. For x to the x, we rewrite it as e to the positive x natural log x. That tiny sign change changes every term in the series. When we apply the same substitution, t equals negative natural log x, the same gamma function method still works. But now, a factor of negative 1 to the n appears. So the first identity gives a fully positive series, while the twin identity gives an alternating series. And that is what makes Bernoulli's results so beautiful. Two unusual integrals, two elegant infinite series, one unified method. Thanks for watching.